So you've got this amazing project, right? An app, a business, maybe just a big idea. And you know it needs a home online, but that's where it gets tricky. Do you go with a professional data center or do you try to run it on your own server at home? It can feel like a huge decision. Well, today we're going to settle it in a head-to-head showdown. Let's just get right to the heart of it with this one question. Where is your big idea actually going to live? Because, the answer to this is going to affect everything. Its speed, its safety, its ability to grow down the line. It is a critical decision, so let's make sure we get it right. All right, so in one corner, we have the heavyweight champion, the professional powerhouse, the data center server. And in the other corner, you've got the scrappy, do-it-yourself solution, the home or office server. Now, this could be anything from a special machine buzzing in a closet to an old computer you've brought back to life. Two totally different ways of solving the same problem. Let's see how they really stack up. Okay, first up, let's talk about the engine room. This is round one. We are talking about raw power, pure speed, and that all-important reliability that keeps your project online and running, just like it should. What's really wild is just the sheer difference in the physical world these things live in. A data center? It's literally a purpose-built fortress. We're talking backup generators, industrial-strength air conditioning, even fire suppression systems. A home server, on the other hand, it's probably tucked in a corner, plugged into a regular wall outlet, with a couple of fans to keep it from overheating. It's kind of like the difference between a professional restaurant kitchen and, well, your microwave. So what does that difference in infrastructure actually mean for reliability? Well, in a data center, it means they're using top-of-the-line, enterprise-grade equipment, and they back it up with a guarantee, an SLA, promising something like 99.9% uptime. You know what that is? That's less than 9 hours of downtime in an entire year. Your home server, though, it's completely at the mercy of a power outage in your neighborhood or a random hardware failure. And here's the last piece of that performance puzzle, the internet connection itself. Data centers are plugged directly into the internet superhighways. They have multiple, massive, redundant connections. Your home server, it's using your standard home internet plan. Now, it might be fast for streaming movies, but it is a single point of failure, and it just can't hold a candle to the massive bandwidth a data center has on tap. All right, let's move on to round two, because this is where things get serious. Keeping your data safe. This isn't just about speed anymore. This is about protecting your work. We're talking about a fortress versus, well, a front door. Just look at all these layers of defense. It's incredible. You've got actual security guards on site, 24/7 surveillance cameras. Then you have the digital side, advanced network firewalls and protection against those huge DDoS attacks. That's when hackers try to flood a server with junk traffic to crash it. Plus, they're built to follow strict privacy laws like GDPR. This is legit professional-grade security through and through. And then there's this. For a home server, every single one of those security layers we just talked about, that's on you. Yep, you are the security guard. You're the network administrator. You are responsible for protecting against every single threat out there, both in the real world and online. It's a lot. Now, a huge part of security is having an amazing backup plan. And data centers have this down to a science. They don't just copy files. They take complete snapshots of everything. Then they cleverly save only the small changes to be super efficient. And this is the really cool part. They often replicate your data in real time to a totally different physical location. So if one entire building has a problem, your data is already safe and running somewhere else. A home setup, as you can see, is usually a lot more basic. You might be dragging files to an external hard drive every so often, or maybe you've got a backup scheduled to another device on your network, or maybe you're syncing some stuff to a service like Dropbox. Now, hey, these things can work, but they just don't have the same level of automation and disaster-proof planning that the pros use. Okay, it's time for the final round. And this is the one everybody wants to talk about, the price tag. But we're not just going to look at the initial cost. We're going to dig into the true cost of ownership.
So at first glance, this seems like a pretty easy choice, doesn't it? With a data center, you're paying a monthly or yearly fee. With a home server, you just buy the hardware once. So the DIY option is cheaper. Case closed. Right?
Well, not so fast. Because that initial price you pay is almost never the full story. There are always hidden costs that can completely flip the script. Okay, let's really break this table down. With a data center, that subscription fee you pay, it includes everything: the power, the cooling, the expert staff that keeps it all running. But with a home server, that hardware purchase is just the start. The electricity to run a computer 24/7,
that's going to show up on your power bill. The maintenance, that's your time, your weekends, your effort. And maybe the biggest hidden cost of all, the risk of downtime. If your business goes offline, that could be incredibly expensive. So, after 3 intense rounds, where do we land? What's the final verdict? It's time to put it all together so you can make the right call for your project. And this table really tells the whole story, doesn't it? The data center is the clear winner on reliability, security, being able to grow easily, and having experts manage everything for you, all for a predictable price. The home server, on the other hand, gives you that lower starting cost, but you are taking on all the responsibility and all those hidden costs too. And really, it all boils down to this, a point that comes straight from our source material. Data centers provide a more robust, scalable, and secure solution. They are built for businesses and serious projects that absolutely cannot afford to go down or have a security issue. So in the end, it all comes back to this one simple question. It's not which one is cheaper up front, it's what level of reliability does my big idea demand? Because if your project is important, if being offline costs you money or your reputation, well, the answer becomes pretty clear. So what will you choose?